Episode 28, Whining.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilser.
Don't you love that tune? I think I'm eventually going to get used to it to a degree where the duration is just going to, I don't know, I could just listen to it all day. And sometimes I do while, no, I'm not. Welcome, friends, to the 28th episode of the very best podcast in the world, Personal Supremacy Through Health, Wealth, and Happiness. And we're going to talk about whining today. Did your spouse leave the toothpaste open again? It's like a vicious cycle that you go down. You catch yourself thinking badly about one thing, and it's normal, of normal magnitude. Something just pisses you off and you just whine about it all day long. And I catch myself doing it with our neighbor who is I don't know, unnormal in a variety of ways, but also in nice ways. So I can't demonize him categorically, but it's just interesting how he presses the right buttons. And it's took me quite a while to actually mute those buttons to a degree where he wouldn't get to me, and his attitude wouldn't, and his bad moments wouldn't, and his good moments wouldn't. And I'm a pretty whine-free person. Not W-I-N-E, but W-H-I-N-E. And so in that sense, how did I get there? And why did I do it? And why did I attempt to do it? Now, I caught myself in, when I started my first company, I made one of the shittiest decisions I ever did. I quit the job in the finance industry, said, I'm out, see you never again. And started my company. And what I didn't consider is, damn, you need fucking customers to have a successful company. And it actually takes some time. And I started whining about how everybody was treating me unfairly and how disadvantageous the cards were dealt against me and whatnot, to a degree where the things that I got pissed about and started whining about were so minute that I had gone down this funnel of, where at the beginning, at the broader, bigger part of the funnel, you're like, okay, I've got this major thing pissing me off, until you're at the bottom of the funnel where actually things like toothpaste being left open pisses you off. And that's a dangerous path to walk down, or a dangerous funnel in that sense, because you'll just become some vicious old or young or whatever grouch who is just, I don't know, has this attitude, this negative attitude about everything. It starts eating at you in many physical ways, more than you would probably want to hear about. I'm writing a book about that. I'm not going to promote it. So in that sense, what does whining solve? And even today, living with someone, which I didn't for, 35 years or so. Well, I did live with my parents when I was born and raised. But after that, I was alone. I was a lone wolf, ravaging the earth and business, blah. And I didn't, if I had anything to whine about, it was usually my responsibility. But moving in with someone is like, wait, there's somebody you can, unload your whininess to, and all the things that these people do wrong. And I caught myself doing that once or twice. But then again, my better half has the serious advantage of being insanely cute about the things she does. And number two, even without that, I was like, what's the fucking point? Is it worth creating negative energy over a thing that you could actually solve in a matter of seconds. And because this is an evergreen, I'm going to go back to the open toothpaste. Now, whether or not it's fucking open or closed, it's still toothpaste. It's not going to go bad. It may be a bit dry. You're not going to notice it. You're going to brush your fucking teeth with it. So get over it. If it pisses you off, take the cap, screw it on, and you're good. You know, there are even better. The screwing on bit is going to take you 5 seconds. The ones that flip close, I don't know, maybe 1.5 if you've got, fingers that don't really do a good job. And the second question was like, what does it solve? In context to how easily, particularly these minute situations, are actually solved, it's like, you spend hours, at least minutes, but if not hours, and other people days, being pissed at things that are so ridiculously minuscule in their impact on the world that it's like, get fucking over it. Grow up, chill out, and close the fucking toothpaste. And it's the question, what does it solve? You ever ask yourself the question when you were contemplating a problem rather than trying to tackle it? It's like, it takes so much longer to tackle the problem because you're actually thinking over it and whatever. While it's so obvious, the way to solve it is just so obvious that you don't need to have a degree in rocket science to get it done. Now, whining is quite an emotional response, so taking it to the rational level is quite difficult. I have to admit that. However, slight occurrences may still be on the awareness level at which you can in turn make yourself aware that you're being whiny. It's important. And then being able to counter that emotion. Let me give you an example. I think I gave you the example. I'm not going to give you the example again. Boom. And that's, you're going to bed without dinner. So obviously countering that emotion, that was very difficult in an intense situation. Yet, as I mentioned before, taking yourself out of that mindset, which doesn't achieve anything, isn't going to be. It is going to be the first step to get rid of this nasty habit, and this nasty habit being the whining bit. Be a solution-oriented person. Yeah, that's, I guess, the main part between whiners and doers. I think the comparison is actually quite adequate. Complaining and whining doesn't achieve anything, right? I mean, was there one situation where whining actually got you anywhere? It leads to you being pissed, which inevitably leads to your surrounding being pissed because you're scorching you're pissing on everyone negative energy, and that inevitably leads to them being in a bad mood as well. And when you can kill the problem at the root, controlling yourself to a degree where you're not so easily emotionally aroused, your environment is going to be grateful for it. I'm not talking about that you have to be a happy camper all day long and all of these esoterists running around all day with their big projection on smiles and the world is a good place. It's not. It's a pretty fucked up place, but there's no reason to actually get pissed about anything. Now, let's talk for a moment, because we're kind of like this in this emotional stage. If there are things that piss you off, I did an episode a while ago, which was called Things You Can versus Things You Cannot Control. It was an exercise episode. And that's another aspect you have to take into your, let's call it an anti-whining campaign. Let's give it a name. And now the reason a lot of us are grouchy is because we get fed with negative information pretty much all day long, through the news, through social media, where you've got this I'm missing the world, this polarized world, is getting at you with Biden having, dealt with Russia, and I don't know, Trump did supposedly the same. No idea what the difference is, but you've got all of these people bashing each other with exaggerated facts or exaggerating facts, and it's kindergarten level. However, it has a negative impact on you. So one thing I'm probably going to do an exercise about is how to manipulate your social media streams to a degree where you not only get good news, because that would be, what I called the Care Bear Society, but you get to a degree where you free yourself from all of this polarized bullshit that's running amok right now, and which definitely has a negative impact on your mood and other things. So one of the other counter actions, another way to counter whininess and bad moods, that is the case for me. I have a very irregular sleep cycle, in that I don't have a sleep cycle. I sleep when I'm tired, and I work when I'm awake, and I do stuff while I'm awake. And when I notice that I'm getting, I don't want to say aggressive, that would be the wrong word, but I get whiny, I get nerve wrecked, I don't have tempers or anything. It's just this shitty situation. I don't feel well. I go to bed half an hour, get up, had my power nap, and I'm back at 110% energy. Try that, because getting 30 minutes of sleep is, there's a proof of concept there. What do you do with kids when they're whiny? Normally they're tired, you put them to bed, they wake up when they wake up, and they're happy as a clam again. And you'll notice if you, first thing, become aware that you whine about stuff which is just ridiculous, or you whine about stuff you cannot control. Again, go back to the episode that I made, and you'll see that this nap thing, which I just mentioned as a closing argument, just get these 30 minutes of goddamn sleep. The world is going to be a better place. It's going to be a different place, but it's going to be a better place when you wake up. Your productivity is increased, and a solution will present itself. And only then are you going to be helpful to society and your surrounding again. In that sense, westward folks, good morning. Have a successful day. Eastward folks, good night. Keep your hands above the blanket. In that sense, I will see you tomorrow, when we will talk about the mystical topic of personal project granularity. It's like private-public partnerships, but cooler. No, actually, there's no context. I'll see you tomorrow. Hang tight. I'm out.